before the Yankees take the field. And as we wait, we'll give you the keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, in case you weren't watching last night, don't go to the bathroom when Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is up, or Stanton or Judge for that matter. These are must-watch at-bats tonight, and against them, the rotation X-factors on both sides. Gausman and Severino are a big part of both of these teams' rotations, and of course, if you win tonight, that's a happy homestand. You can kind of split here with the Blue Jays in a tough 4-game set, and you took 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox, so I guess you could say it was a happy homestand if they can come through tonight.
All right, so Severino's on the mound taking his warm-ups to Trevino. We'll take a look at the Blue Jays starting lineup. Brought to you by TikTok. It starts on TikTok. Springer's a DH tonight. He'll lead off, batting second. The shortstop, Bo Bichette. And it's that man, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at first base, hitting third. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is in left field. He'll clean up. Batting fifth and playing right field, Raimel Tapia. Alejandro Kirk will catch. He'll bat sixth. Batting seventh in the lineup for the first time in this 4-game set, second baseman Kevin Biggio. Santiago Espinal, who's been playing second, he moves over to third. They give Chapman the day off. He'll bat eighth, and batting ninth and playing center field, it's Bradley Zimmer as they put Teoscar Hernandez on the 10-day IL with a left oblique strain. And Luis Severino.
Hey, Louis, towing the slab and the boogie down tonight. Seen the 2021 season last year. He came back 4 games in relief. He was really good. He gave him a boost out of the pen. But the scouting report tells a little different story. His velocity's all the way back. Last year, he averaged about 95 miles an hour on his fastball. When he came back in September this year, he's already up to close to 98 miles an hour. That's a great sign for his arm strength. His improved changeup since he's come back to me. He can throw it to right-handed batters as well as lefties. It's a real weapon for him. And he's come up with a cutter, so his cutter-slider combo gives him a little different look in terms of his breaking ball pattern. So it's interesting to watch.
Let's take a look at the defense behind Severino. You've got Gallo in left, Judge in center, and Stanton in right, the full house backfield. And then you've got the infield with Donaldson, Kiner-Falefa, LeMahieu, and Rizzo. Gleyber Torres will DH tonight. Trevino behind the plate, and Severino is on the mound. You're all set up to enjoy some baseball. Springer's ready. Severino's ready. Let's do it in the Bronx. And the first pitch is a strike. We are underway. Good start for Springer. There's a ground ball left side. IKF. Got him. Good stretch by Rizzo, and they just got the hustling Springer.
Springer gave himself the safe sign. You just wonder, we'll take a look here. Ball came up on Kiner-Falefa, and it just didn't have a good grip. You see a nice little sinker, but clearly ball beat him to the bag.
Nice job by Rizzo there. That's the toughest play for a lefty, to go that way and reach across his body.
Bichette takes low.
Because of that grip, Coney, you could see the movement on that ball from Kiner-Falefa across the diamond.
Fly ball right center, and they're going to have to play it off the wall. Judge retrieves, and Bichette has himself a double.
Well, the outcome could have been worse. Judge got to the wall and got a pretty good ricochet off the wall to keep him at second base with 1 out. Very important to keep him at second instead of a triple. And Judge's arm around the league is already known, extremely accurate. Kept Bichette at second base.
So that's going to bring up Guerrero. Quick scouting report. How would you pitch to him, baby?
First base is open.
Exactly. 4 fingers. Don't even waste a pitch here, Cody.
You know, the one thing, Michael, just to, on a serious note, is the adjustments that he makes really make it difficult to face him. There's no one way to pitch him. He doesn't chase, but he can still get to a 98-mile-an-hour fastball inside off the corner. So that's double trouble.
Now, after the double yesterday, we saw Garrett Cole tip his cap. Had you ever done that to a hitter?
No, not during the game. Maybe afterwards. I think that's a healthy attitude to have, and respect your opponent, so to speak. You know, hey, these guys are trying to beat you. These are great players. Enjoy the competition, but it's hard to right in the middle of it when it happens.
1-2. This is what happened yesterday. Good job. And he asked the media, if you guys had hats, you would have tipped it too. One, two. Swing and a miss. Got him on the change. Two-way.
Yeah, Coney, you talked about it, and it does give him a huge weapon. And if you look back, I mean, he used his changeup over 25% of the time last year. So the confidence in it, obviously, he has a lot. And this, you're not going to get hurt with that pitch. Changeup down, if it's put in play, you know, it's not a mistake waiting to happen, which a slider can be.
Here's Gurriel Jr. Swing and a miss.
The cut fastball on display too at 92 miles an hour. He's thrown a handful of them already. A little quicker and shorter break to it and high velocity. He's got a couple of different kinds of breaking balls now to go with that changeup. So he is really a different pitcher this time around in terms of weapons.
And he gets plumped. Gurriel does. And he'll take first.
Coney, you used to have that same type of pitch, and every once in a while, as hard as you can throw, if it gets away and starts running up and in, it's not like you can pull it back, and it's the movement right towards the hitter. You see it just take off up and inside.
On that bottom hand. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See a lot of ball players nowadays probably wear a real thick padding in their batting gloves nowadays for that type of a situation right there.
You know, the first person I saw that was Bagwell, who used to really dive and use that padding, and all of a sudden you see a little jawing going on. And you know, it's not that somebody got hit, it's just the, you know, it's the frustration that you know, you're that comfortable throwing in. Sometimes players look at it, but you know what? It's a game of baseball. Coney, you were a pitcher. You had great control. I saw you hit people at times. It just happens.
It does happen, and certainly on the Blue Jays side, it's always a rallying cry to try to protect your teammates, no matter, you know, whatever the intent was.
Well, you can see Manoah was shouting out at Severino. Severino, no shrinking violets, shouted back to the dugout, and coming out of the Yankee dugout, just in case, was Garrett Cole. Tapia fouls it back, 2-1. Tapia's going to see more action because Hernandez put on the IL with the left oblique strain, and he was replaced on the roster by Gosuke Kato. Two and two. Tonight's injury report brought to you by Montefiore, state-of-the-art healthcare in New York City, Westchester, and the Hudson Valley. So he exited last night's game after swinging a pitch and then running slowly at first with left side discomfort. Underwent an MRI today, and they found the left oblique strain. That sometimes takes a while. Placed on the 10-day IL. Two on, 2-2, 2 outs. Still 2-2.
You look at that Hernandez injury, and I mean that's what happens to really good teams. All of a sudden, you know, this guy's right in the middle of your lineup, and Silver Slugger, last year, and you could tell that, you know, something grabbed, and then there was the next swing, and that, you know, he basically couldn't even get out of the box, and you knew something was up.
Lined right to Donaldson. Something's up. The New York Yankee little threatens, but Severino holds him down. So now it's time for the Yankees starting lineup, brought to you by TikTok. It starts on TikTok. Donaldson at third, Judge in center, Rizzo at first. The middle third, Stanton's in right today, LeMahieu at second, Joey Gallo in left. Gleyber Torres will DH and bat seventh. Batting eighth, the shortstop, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and Jose Trevino will catch, and he is going to bat ninth. Three batters on the bench. Two switch hitters, Hicks and Gonzalez, and then the backup catcher for this game, Kyle Higashioka.
Kevin Gausman, you can see last year with the San Francisco Giants, solid as a rock across the board there. Those numbers really jump off the page. And our scouting report, you know, that breakout star last year, he was sixth in the Cy Young Award winning vote tally. 5.1 WAR, really across the board career highs. He's got an elite splitter, which leads to the high chase rate. 98th percentile in that chase rate, top 2%.
Donaldson takes inside, 1-0. Gausman signed a 5-year, $110 million free agent contract with Toronto on December 1st, right before the lockout. 1-1. Donaldson was on the R2C2 podcast with Ryan Rucco and CC Sabathia, and said, you know, when he came over to the Yankees, his biggest concern was patching things up with Garrett Cole. And he said they did such a good job of coming together that their families are constantly hanging out together. The kids are hanging out together. He said they're really, really close, so they patched it up well.
It's all about the laundry. I hated O'Neill. I'm telling you, I hated that guy.
Well, you brought up a name the other night, Michael, and it was Roger Clemens. And it's just like, there's not a person in the world that I would not want to face other than Roger Clemens from the opposing side. And then all of a sudden, one of the best teammates you could ever play with, because he would protect players. He was a great pitcher. So, you know, once you get to know guys and you play with them, totally different than playing against them.
He also told CC that when he played against the Yankees, CC was on the mound. He didn't like that CC wore his cap sideways. He said, I just wanted to knock the cap right off your head.
Coney, all those friendly conversations we had, like down in Puerto Rico and everything, you really didn't like me, huh? That was all eyewash compared.
Yeah, that is my middle name, eyewash.
1-2. Still 1-2. Gurriel, Zimmer, and Tapia, that's left to right in the outfield. Espinal, Bichette, Biggio, and Guerrero Jr., third to first. Alejandro Kirk is catching Kevin Gausman. One, two. Swing and a miss. Donaldson down on strikes. Let's check out the umpire scouting report. So Pat Holberg behind the plate, he's considered neutral. Fewer inside strikes on lefty batters, more low strikes on righty batters, and this is Pat's 9th big league season. The rest of the crew chief Paul Emmel is at first, James Hoy at second, and Bruce Dreckman is over third. Aaron Judge got off the home run schneid yesterday with a long blast following a Rizzo home run. That came in the 5th inning when the Yankees put a 3 spot on the board to tie the game. High drive into center field. Right there, though, is Zimmer, and he puts it away for the second out. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the Yankees. It's 62 degrees. Still a 15% chance of rain, 55% humidity. The wind out of the northwest at 10 miles per hour. Paul, did you call your former manager? It's Pete Rose's 81st birthday today.
I saw that in the game notes. Can you imagine Pete Rose is 81 years old? I mean, when you grow up watching players, you never think they're going to get old. And, you know, all of a sudden you're looking up at guy 81 years old. Happy birthday, Pete.
That one is ripped right at Guerrero.
Wow.
And that'll do it. Rizzo hit it right on the screws.
Welcome back. On this date in 1955, Elston Howard became the first African-American player in Yankees history, going 1-for-1 with an RBI in the game against the Red Sox. Howard was a 9-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glove Award winner, and the winner of the 1963 American League MVP. He had his number 32 retired on Old Timers Day in 1984. Guys, a very important part of Yankees history, and it is also Elston Howard bobblehead night.
Yeah, what a player. I mean, just so unbelievable and revered by his teammates, really well liked. And nice that he's getting, his family's getting to see his honor today, getting a bobblehead.
I got to get one of those, Michael. Do we get him up here? Elston Howard.
Michael better get him.
Yeah, that goes right front and center. That one right there, that's the one you got to have.
The 2-1. 2-2 on Kirk.
Put that right next to the Mickey Mantle one where he's got the triple crown and all the bats.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a good bobblehead too.
It'll be a tough play. Fielded by Severino, fires to first. Not in time. Couldn't have rolled it any better.
Anybody in the league, yeah, if there's anybody in the league that you would have a chance, it would be Kirk. And as Sevy shows a lot of athleticism to get off, to throw that against, you know, his body, almost got him, just not enough time.
That's why they call it a swinging bunt.
Here's Kevin Biggio. Popped up and out of play. He's essentially lost the second base job to Santiago Espinal. This is his first start at second in this 4-game set, as they're giving Chapman the day off and Espinal moves to third. 1-1.
Yeah, it is amazing. I was looking at the stats, and, you know, Biggio's name has been out there as, you know, the homegrown is going to be a star. This is only his 5th at bat of the year, which shows you that, you know, somebody's getting those at bats, and it has been Espinal. He has done a great job.
Charlie Montoyo is playing the hot hand, and Espinal bulked up over the winter, worked with the Gurriel brothers, and became stronger. And it's apparent the way he's hitting the ball. And they always thought he was a really good defender. David, you speak. You got your bobblehead.
Yes.
Three and two. Start of the game delayed exactly an hour and 30 minutes. 8:35 first pitch. And for fans of around my age, it doesn't seem that odd, because when I was young, Yankee night games started at 8 o'clock all the time. Then they moved to 7:30, then to 7. Last April, got some 6:30s, back to 7. But that was always a deal. You'd turn to WPIX at 8 o'clock and the Yankee game was there.
And who was on? Was that Frank Messer? Or was
Frank Messer, Phil Rizzuto, and Bill White.
It's pretty good.
Other than my dad, they were the male voices in my house. There's a strike to Espinal. Pitch up and away, 1-1.
Michael, I don't even mean this as a joke, but I mean, were you watching all these games in color? Because I can remember watching baseball in black and white, and that's why I fell in love with the Oakland A's, because we got a color TV, and all of a sudden it's just like somebody turned the lights on. The colors and the uniforms that the Oakland A's had were something special.
Well, I think that started out in black and white because we had a black and white TV set. But then when we got the color set, obviously things came a bit more to life. But those A's uniform would show up on black and white TVs too. High fly ball left center. Judge makes the play and fires it. Paul, have you been surprised how comfortable Judge is in center?
You know what? The first time I remember was last year or the year before they put him in center. It was a question to me. It's like, you know, how big he is. You know, how is he going to deal in center field? And I tell you what, he's more than adequate in center field. He does a good job out there. Obviously, the positioning helps. He's got a great arm, and he runs much better than you would think a 6'8" guy would. But, yeah, I have been pleasantly surprised by being able to move from right field to center field, and it really doesn't show.
It seems very natural. He played center in college. Could have played center on the basketball team too. There's a strike.
And football.
And football. Well, he might be a little thin for center in football. Fouled away.
We're taking a look at Zimmer here. He was acquired on opening day from the Cleveland Indians, 6 years with Cleveland. But, you know, Coney, you mentioned it last night that, you know, a lot of the Blue Jays hitters right-handed. You know, by adding a left-handed hitter, you don't want to lose Hernandez, who he's taken the job for, but it gives you a left-handed bat, an option to put in this lineup. Also, we always hear every team trumpets its prospects. Zimmer was can't miss with the Indians. You know what? He kind of missed. It's hard to project.
Well, if you think back to the Andrew Miller trade, it was either him or Clint Frazier in the return back to the Yankees.
And they wouldn't give Zimmer up. But they gave him up for reliever Anthony Castro.
Look at the barrel of that bat, Coney. There's a lot of foul balls. You see those maple bats. You see those ink spots all over the barrel. A lot of foul balls there.
Flying down the line, and the ball is dropped by Rizzo. And everybody is safe. The bases are loaded.
Here's a big out right here, and you never say much about Rizzo. Probably coming off the base to possibly check the runner, take his eye off it, and it just hit the heel of his glove and came out.
And he gets charged with an error.
With a swinging bunt, a walk, and then that play loads him up for Luis Severino with one out here, and now the Blue Jays turning over their lineup with Springer.
Oh and 2.
Well, Coney, you've said it numerous times. I mean, big situations. Now all of a sudden you're 0-2 and you get greedy as a pitcher. Now you want the strikeout. It's just, how do you go about it? Do you go right for it, or you try to set up a pitch in the middle of the count?
Fly ball, right field. Stanton there, tagging Kirk. He's going to stay right there at third. The throw cut off by Rizzo. Big out.
Good job by Stanton, just so you know, to make an accurate throw, get rid of it quick, make the decision easy to hold Kirk at third base. But again, Nassetti went right after him, and this is nothing more than a live fastball, because that Springer's a good fastball hitter. That ball's in the middle of the plate, and it basically just got in on him enough where it wasn't deep enough to score. Kirk.
Well, here's Bo Bichette, doubled off the wall in right center in the first inning. Oh and 1. Good slider. 0 and 2. Well, they're playing the Star Wars sound, and you can see that Severino could not hear from the pitch clock. Held his glove over his ear to try to accentuate the sound. Talked to Boone today about that sound. He said, you know, it sounds louder this year because I think that the speakers are at different places and they're better. He said, but some guys have had some issues hearing. You know, we said they played all last year, nobody complained, but the variable now is they've got to hear a sound in their hat that they might not have been able to hear if it was playing. Grounded to Donaldson. Gobbles it up. And that'll do it. So they pitch around the error by Anthony Rizzo. Blue Jays leave the bases loaded. We go to the bottom of the second. Download the MLB app to get video highlights, live pitch by pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboards, and more for your New York Yankees. Josh Donaldson might be checking that out. Kevin Gausman for a second inning of work.
Like kids at the dinner table, right? Put the devices down, have a conversation with your parents.
That's a losing battle.
It's never going to happen.
Here's Stanton. So most people on this planet thought that Stanton's pinch hit yesterday was going to go out. He thought of it. The Yankees that jumped to the top step of the dugout thought it. Aaron Boone said he wasn't certain. He said he knew he hit it, but he didn't think he got all of it. Usually when he gets it, you know it's gone. He said, but I certainly thought it had a chance. And here's how it looked. Just missed. One and two.
You remember how that kind of set up for him to, hit that huge home run was Anthony Rizzo dropping that bunt down, not knowing where it went, but it ended up being a base hit.
Three infielders on the left side. Swing and a miss. Stanton down on strikes.
Cody, this is just that wicked split finger, and looking back, I always thought that it was probably the toughest pitch in baseball to hit because you really couldn't pick up. It's kind of a slip pitch, and you can explain it better than I can, Coney, but you couldn't see spin much. You couldn't see the release of it any different than a fastball. It just kind of slips out of the hand, and there was no rhyme or reason why it goes one way or the other.
Oh, strike.
Well, it is without a doubt one of the best splitters in the game. You can see last year opponents have averaged 133 batting average against, and almost a 46% swing and miss rate at that splitter.
Line drive right at Biggio. 2 down.
Coney, looking back at when I remember seeing the split-fingered fastball was like in the late 80s out in San Francisco. Roger Craig, who became the manager there, and you had Scott Gereltz and Lacoste and guys like that all of a sudden you started seeing the split-fingered fastball, and it's just like, what is this pitch? And a lot of them got arm problems from it, but it stayed in the game, and it's one of the nastier pitches you'll see as a hitter.
Gausman has perfected his.
There's a strike.
Gausman, no stranger to the Yankees, obviously. All those years with the Orioles, he's actually pitched pretty well against the Yankees in his career, even going back to Baltimore days. But last year was the breakout year for him. Now in his 10th year.
Oh, 2.
Think about pitchers today, starting pitchers. The most valuable thing you can give is innings. As you see, there's a good look at the grip. It's a modified splitter grip. That's why we saw the rotation on it. He gets pretty good spin on it. It's not like a forkball that's really a low spin type pitch. He gets a certain amount of gyro spin on it and a good amount of sink, vertical drop.
Courtney, did you put your thumb on the side of the ball like that when you threw yours?
I messed around with my thumb. Yeah, if I wanted to make the ball break more lateral, I would mess around with my thumb, move my thumb on the side a bit.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted it to go more downward, I would tuck my thumb underneath a little bit more.
Swing and a miss, and Gallo down on strikes. 3 strikeouts for Gausman in 2 innings. We go to the 3rd. Nothing. Any player in the majors against the Bronx Bombers. And remember, the first 2 games of the series, he was 0 for 8. Now, Aaron Boone was talking about that today. He said somebody before the game yesterday came up and said, "You guys really held down Guerrero. He hasn't had a hit in 8 at-bats." And Boone said, "Shh, no. Baseball people are very superstitious."
It's almost as if Vladdy Guerrero Jr. started looking for the ball inside after getting pitched inside, as Paul noted, the first 2 games. He made the adjustment last night.
Two and 2.
Coney is, as you well know, certain hitters, good hitters, basic hitters, have tendencies, and you can exploit certain things. Great hitters can make adjustments, and Guerrero, you said it unbelievably well last night. He's a generational hitter, a guy that you don't see come along a lot. And it's just there's no certain way. It goes from at bat to at bat. You don't pitch in the same way the whole series, or you're going to have games like you did last night.
It's a rare combination to find a hitter as disciplined as he is.
Strike 3. 2 strikeouts of Guerrero.
Oh, well located pitch, Paulie, and Trevino gives you a little look at his framing ability as well. The pitch is just off and down, but excellent shape to that 92-mile-an-hour cutter. 95-mile-an-hour, actually.
One and one on Gurriel, who was hit by a pitch in the first inning. One and two.
It's a really good mix of pitches. You know, Severino looks like a different guy to me. He's throwing the ball 99 miles an hour like he always did. He's got many more weapons now.
Strike 3. Hobart gives him the call off the corner. 2 away.
You know what always amazed me about Sevy is it's just like he's playing catch. He's not 100% just grunting, throwing as hard as he can. He just has a live arm. I'll tell you what, if he stays with pitches like this, it's going to be a long night for the Blue Jays.
Well, there was our scouting report on the home plate ump. Fewer inside strikes on lefty batters. What was that, lower strike? More lower strikes on right-handed batters, which is what he got there also off the plate. Severino off the mound. And that'll do it. 1-2-3 inning for the Yankee right-hander as the Blue Jays go down in order. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Well, the Blue Jays left 5 runners on base in the first 2 innings, and then Severino retires them in order in the third. Now, the Yankees looking for their first base runner. They'll send up the bottom third of the order against Gausman. Torres had a home run in yesterday's game. He's the DH tonight. Lined into center field, but caught by Biggio. Boy, the second baseman in this series for the Blue Jays has been perfectly positioned in every game.
Yeah, we talked about it last night. I mean, it used to be a sure hit up the middle. No longer with the switch. It just seems like that's their position. Good play by Biggio.
Got up there.
Look at that. Vlad got up there too. He jumped with him. I don't know if you saw that in the side. Vlad was jumping with him trying to catch it.
Falefa admitted that, you know, he had been feeling some pressure as a Yankee. Here's a catch again, and Vlad.
Look at Vlad. Trying to help him.
Also, IKF talked about, you know, the first couple of games, it was hitting me. And then he actually went out to Monument Park, walked around, and just felt the history of the team and what came before him. He said, I'll be fine. And he said last year was a very streaky year for him. He said, so I know I'll hit. So far, just one hit, hitting .059. Base hit. Espinal looked like he was actually deked out on that one. Almost like it was a curveball. So it's a base hit for Kiner-Falefa.
Well, he's a true second baseman. See, this ball gets in on him, and sometimes you don't read it right. The ball jammed him. Maybe that's what Kiner-Falefa needs.
Now, the Yankees have not had much offense out of the bottom of the lineup, and Meredith, you spoke to Aaron Boone about it.
And he did address it, saying that he's not worried about IKF. He's not worried about Kyle Higashioka. He thinks both of those guys are going to hit, but did say they need to get going at the bottom of the lineup. Overall, the lineup has not had a lot of consistency to start the season. But, Michael, I spoke to IKF earlier today, and he said one of the most frustrating things to start the season is how many ground balls he's been hitting. That's something he's worked on all offseason, trying to elevate the ball a little bit more. He's been in the cage doing early work, as they call a balk here. He's been in the cage doing early work, and I told him, what tells you that you're moving in the right direction? And he simply said exit velocity. The ball's coming off the bat much better. He feels as though it's only a matter of time until he starts getting some of the results he wants. But he kind of seconded what you said, Michael. Early on, he felt like the atmosphere, getting used to a new team, used to a new field, maybe led to some of the miscues we saw here early in the season.
Well, the Yankees could use him, especially with Higashioka struggling. It's a little bit of a different vibe at the bottom of the order than they're used to.
I'm not sure what Gausman did there. A little ticky-tack ball call, and you saw Blue Jay bench was not happy. If I was commissioner for a day, Paulie, that rule would be revisited. Don't get me going on the balk rule. Nobody in the ballpark knows what happens, but IKF's on second base.
I've always said it's really the most unscientific call in baseball. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason why some things are balks and they're not. I mean, you understand a few of them, but there's so many that are just splitting hairs to call a balk and not a balk.
One and two. That one's looped into left field. It is going to be a base hit in front of Gurriel. Here comes Kiner-Falefa. The ball is bobbled in left field. Going to second, Trevino. And the Yankees have a 1-0 lead.
Well, a big break for the Yankees here. And, you know, the Blue Jays defense so far in the series has been really good. So Gurriel tried to deke Kiner-Falefa like he was going to get it, but he kind of deked himself into a short hop and ended up giving them a run. That's a bad feeling. You keep looking around and you just can't find it. Ball off the end of the bat, put it in play, you never know.
So that's a single, a ribby, and an E7, allowing him to go to second.
A lot of times after rain all day, or you know, a rain delay, the ball can kind of skip on you, but that ball looked like it actually came up. He's heard enough from the dugout already. 1-0 game.
Foul back.
Man on second base, especially a catcher and a veteran Trevino, you got to switch up the signs. Blue Jays are not using pitch com. So Gosman's got to look at his card. This is where the game slows down. This is one of the biggest arguments for pitch com. This situation right here. Anytime you have a catcher on second base, you tend to worry a little bit more because they know the signal calling game.
Foul back. You know, we saw on the Conifalefa single that Espinal was faked out. This could be why. He hit the ball twice.
Little stank action on it. Slice. Slices work in baseball, not in golf.
No. They get you in a lot of trouble, Cody.
Good catch by our production truck. Watch Espinal. He takes a step toward the line, and that's a whoa, wrong way.
Well, the ball was in on his hand, so he was going to pull it. Well, the bat cracked, and the ball didn't exit very quick enough, so the barrel of the bat caught it again, which is one of the weirder plays I've seen at the plate.
Right in on the hands, foul back. There's one hit.
That shatters it, and then again it hits the barrel because it does not exit the bat very quick below the label there.
Kind of a wiping action.
One nothing Yankees, runner at second, one man out. Donaldson, who struck out in the first inning, has a 2-2 count. You know, from where he's watching, you see the pitch sequence to Donaldson. Former Yankee Phil Hughes on Twitter said, check that, I think he hit it twice. Good job, Phil. Two balls, two strikes, one out. Yankees up 1-0. Inside, 3-2. If the uniform top was a little blousier, he'd be on first base.
It's a veteran pitcher, knowing that if he's going to bust him in, he's going to miss inside, and then it sets up this 3-2 splitter, potentially.
Strike three. Donaldson down looking. He does not like the call.
Got me too up here, Paul. I'm thinking splitter. He dots a fastball in the outside corner. That's a good pitch from Gausman. Right there.
So the bottom of the Yankee order in the first 6 games has been dormant, and here they are in the 3rd inning. They get the Yankees a run. One and 0 to Judge.
And forcing Gausman to throw some pitches too here in the 3rd. As he is an innings eater. He made 33 starts last year for the Giants and ended up with 192 innings. And if you think about potential 200 inning pitchers in today's game, it is a short list. And even more valuable than ever.
One 0. Couldn't hold up. 1-1. Judge a fly ball to center in the 1st inning. One, 2.
Just 4 pitchers last year threw 200 innings. Wheeler, Buehler, the ageless Adam Wainwright, Sandy Alcantara from Miami. Cracked the 200 inning mark last year.
Buehler?
Buehler's in there.
Buehler?
Yes.
1-2. Foul back. Well, they're making Gausman work. He had a very economical first 2 innings. Fly ball, center field. Zimmer back. He's there, puts it away, and that will do it. But the Yankees get a run on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left. We played Emil saw as a balk. And I know you love this rule, David, so what do you see here?
Apparently he's called for not coming to a discernible stop. Now that's part of Gausman's delivery, that sort of rhythm and that moving, rocking of the feet back and forth.
Certainly didn't seem blatant.
No, and the thing is that the first base umpire can't see it. The pitcher's back is to him.
And he's the one who called it, not Holberg at home plate.
Holberg or the third base umpire would see whether his hands came to a discernible stop or not. It's probably what Charlie Montoya was saying. How could you see it?
Three and 0 on Kirk.
You think about how good Luis Severino was before all the injury problems. It's almost worth it to go back and revisit some of those numbers.
And Kirk works a walk.
You know, the Yankees are 47-20 in his 67 starts since 2017. You look at 2017 and 18 seasons across the board, he was a top 5 starter. That's when the Yankees locked him up to that 4-year deal, 4-year, $40 million deal.
There's the strike to Biggio.
The Yankees hope he can get back to that form again.
To your point, Coney, I mean, 2017, 2018. I mean, he was third in baseball in the American League with 33 wins, behind Corey Kluber with 38 and Clevenger with 35. So, you know, he was an ace. I mean, it's just not like he was a 4th or 5th starter.
There's a certain energy that he brings to the team, and when he pitches on the mound, that was sorely missed when he was gone. Some genuine enthusiasm and emotion on the mound.
Swing and a miss. There's that change.
So hard for a hitter to be able to cover the cutter in, the 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and then a good changeup away, fading away. You saw Garrett Cole tip his hat to Vlad last night. Well, sometimes you got to tip your hat to the pitcher. That's just a great sequence.
Big cut by Espinal. You know, not that this is a bad lineup, guys, but taking out Teoscar Hernandez changes the entire tenor of this lineup. That's how good that guy is. He's your cleanup hitter, and now he's out for at least 10 days. So that's a big loss for the Blue Jays. He doesn't get a lot of the accolades, but he is respected in that room and around Major League Baseball. He can play. That one's on a slider.
You can see a couple of different kinds of breaking balls from Severino tonight, and that's on display. That one at 86 miles an hour. This is more the traditional slider with some depth, some drop to it. The cutter's more in the low 90s. So he's got a couple of different kinds of breaking balls to come after you now, along with that really good changeup. Luis Severino, you know, just to put a button on his career before it was interrupted with the injuries, he allowed 1 or fewer earned runs in 31 of 67 career starts. It's almost 46%, a little over 46% that he gave up 1 or fewer earned runs in his starts. That's how dominant he was and can be again.
High fly ball left field. Gallo. And that'll do it. They work around the leadoff walk. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Here's Rizzo. Bottom of the 4th inning, lined out to Guerrero in the 1st. 0-1. Got a big piece of Kirk. 0-2, says he's okay.
Well, this is the pitch that Rizzo's been handling and taking into the seats. A good swing. That's what Gausman likes to do, is throw that fastball up in the strike zone and then follow it up by the split finger down in the strike zone.
Oh, he tried to bunt with 2 strikes. He strikes out. You know what the Blue Jays do in their shift is when there's 2 strikes, they take everybody and move them to the right side with the 4 outfielders. So he said, listen, I'll take a shot at it, but with fewer than 2 strikes, they do have 1 person on the left side.
Well, that's just a gimme. You know, it's tough to do, obviously, with 2 strikes, and if you miss, you're out. But it is wide open.
You see, just jabbing at it a little bit, bunting. I mean, you got to get the bat out in front. You lose sight of the ball when you keep it that far back. But you know, I'm kind of for it. I think that if they want to take everybody off the left side, your chances of putting a bunt down somewhere over there, odds are pretty good.
Yeah, down 0-2 to Gausman and his splitter.
Wade did that pitch, 0-2. A lot of concern with Gausman. You know, he certainly found it with the Giants. Would it be a 1-year wonder? He looks like he's pitching just as well as he did last year. And it certainly looks, David, like the Giants have that secret sauce out there with pitchers.
And hitters too, really, all the way around. See if they can match what they did last year. I mean, the Giants just so much overachieved compared to any prediction by anybody out there. And see if they can back it up again this year. But yes, I mean, Gausman has figured some things out. See Luis Severino up around 71 pitches, so Castro's going to start getting loose.
Swing and a miss. Stanton has struck out twice tonight.
There's certain pitches you just don't want to get to 2 strikes, and Gausman one of them with that split-fingered fastball. Anytime that he can throw a good one, it's going to be a swing and a miss.
You know, we showed you his grip. It's kind of a hybrid splitter circle change grip. That's why you get some rotation on it. Some pretty good spin on that pitch, and still has excellent dive. See kind of the A-OK sign, but also the split. So it's his own unique grip. That's what you'd call a hybrid splitter changeup grip, and that's why you get that type of rotation on it, as opposed to that tumbling lack of rotation that most splitters have.
Now, most splitters, David, will have to change the speed anyway, right?
Yes.
So this just is about the rotation of the pitch.
The rotation of the pitch is very deceptive. He gets a good spin on it. The axis of the spin really allows that vertical movement down, the diving action, the changing of planes that he gets on it. He gets a good amount of lateral movement as well. He gets downward tilt and horizontal movement. Good combination of both.
One and two. The only blemish for Severino so far is the high pitch count, and everybody's got a limit because of the short spring training. That's quite an inning for Gausman as he strikes out the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Let's go to the 5th inning. Let's go around the majors, Bob, and look at some of the youngsters. Adley Rutschman, very highly regarded, currently on the IL for the Orioles, as he is injured with a right tricep strain. Julio Rodriguez is 2 for 21, 12 strikeouts in the first 6 games. Bobby Witt, 2 for 20, 3 ribbies in his first 5 games. Spencer Torkelson, 3 for 17, a double, a home run, 8 strikeouts in the first 6 games. It's not an easy sport to just break in and be great. Very few Paul O'Neills just get a hit the first time up.
Yeah. You got to swing at the first pitch before you can think where you are and how you got there.
Well, Litke has joined Castro. Mike Harkey watching closely. Big cut. 2-2. High pop-up. LeMahieu is there and puts it away for the first out of the 5th. Severino threw 65 pitches in his first start, and usually they let you increase by about a 15-pitch increment, which would take him up to 80 in this one. So he's 4 away now. There's some wiggle room on that, obviously.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball very well. You know, there's still room for the eye test, Paulie. What you see is what you get right now.
You know, and this is obviously a huge inning at the top of the order with Springer, a hot hitter, and Vlad coming up on deck, as well as Sevy's throwing. I think Aaron Boone knows that his best chance to get through the top of this order is with Sevy on the mound.
Severino feels his position nicely. 2 away. Got him on the change there. Well, Guerrero was a terror to the Yankees last night. So far tonight, they've had a little bit of a market correction. They struck him out twice, once looking his last time up.
Both good fastballs away. I'm anxious to see how this at bat unfolds. If Guerrero starts to look away, or if Sevy changes and tries to go inside.
94-mile-an-hour cutter, shredding the lower half of the zone.
Oh, 0-2. You
know, Coney, I don't know if you can ever go back to when you pitched a great game and, you know, you had time to process it, but as a hitter, when you have a game like Guerrero had last night, sometimes you get out of that comfort zone where you just get too high, where you come back the next day and you have a hard time focusing, getting back to just playing the game again.
Swing and a miss. Guerrero has struck out 3 times against Severino. That is a powerful 5 innings for Luis Severino. You think he's pumped up? Think he likes pitching again? Oh yeah, we're halfway.
Motion.
Can you imagine, David, how much he appreciates it? It's been taken away from him, and he was really good before he got hurt.
Really good, and I credit Aaron Boone with letting that matchup happen. I kind of wanted to see that one. Pitch count be damned.
Well-deserved hydration right there. There's Joey Gallo, bottom of the 5th inning, 1-0 Yankees. 4 outfielders for Gallo. You know, even with this defensive alignment and 1 fielder on the left side, you can still lay down an average bunt and you're going to get a hit. It doesn't have to be an empty left side. I don't know if this is the right time for it. You want Gallo to be aiming for the seats. But what Rizzo did last night, that was the right time when you're down by 3. 0-2. High fly ball. Easily put away by Zimmer. Pretty good pitching matchup. Severino against Gausman. So far, Severino has the advantage with a 1-0 lead. Torres swings and misses.
Yeah, when you look at the breakdown of Luis Severino's pitches tonight, it's just good diversity across the board. It swings and misses with all of his pitches and called strikes with all of his pitches. It's a much more unpredictable pitcher now than he was before.
Check swing, but a ground ball to Espinal. He fields. 2 outs.
Coney, when you look at Sevy, and we talk coming into the game how much more he uses that really good changeup, but I think you made a great point that he's using that cutter now, and you know, the cutter and the slider, 2 different kind of looks to a hitter, which you know, you got to cover them both. You'll pick up the slider, it's a little more off speed, the cutter more like a fastball, but it, you know, it has that movement at the end, so that's 2 completely different pitches.
Another base hit for Falefa as it goes off the glove of Bichette. IKF going for 2, and he'll make it. So he's 2 for 2, a single, and now a double.
This is kind of what you expected to see Falefa when he came over here. You know, just a kind of a slap hitter, contact, these type of things, and then take the extra base because he's got good speed. And you know, he has not offensively been great, but he has done what the Yankees had wanted him to do at shortstop. He's made the plays, and you know, he's got a lot to prove, and there's always an adjustment coming to New York. Maybe this is the night he turns the page and becomes a player he wants to be.
Here's Jose Trevino. Drove in a run in his only at bat. RBI single to left, scoring Falefa from second. That's where he is right now with 2 outs. Check swing, foul ball. Oh, and 2.
Lucas Licky, the lefty, going to get going now. Sevy's night is done.
That one is looped into left center field. That is going to Duncan for a base hit. Falefa will score. It's another RBI single for Trevino, and the Yankees lead 2-0.
The bottom of the order tonight must have listened to Aaron Boone's press conference saying that they need a little more production. Falefa, Trevino responsible for both the runs. A little riding fastball up under his hands. Stayed level enough just to dunk it into center field.
Now back to the top of the order, and Donaldson, who struck out twice, looking his last time up. Oh, 0-1. You want to hear an amazing stat? And this is from our very own Seth Rothman. This is the first time in his young career that Vlad Guerrero has ever been struck out 3 times by the same pitcher in a game. That's how dominant Severino's been. Oh, 0-2 on Donaldson. Runner goes. Throw to second. How about that? A stolen base for Trevino. Doing it all.
Every once in a while, as a runner, you just kind of cheat and just take off on first movement. You see this ball received well up in front of the bag where you couldn't reach back and tag. Biggio had more time than he thought.
You know, if you're going to wear white spikes, you have to have some speed. You can't be slow. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Donaldson down on strikes for the 3rd time. But the bottom of the Yankee order in a wasteland for the first 6 games. Not today. A double by Falefa. And then Trevino says, come on home. 2-0 electric Audi vehicle at your local Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Well, the electric moment is when this guy stepped on the mound to tow the slab and the boogie down tonight. He came to play. He had his A game going. 5 innings pitched. He had 6 strikeouts and a couple of walks, but mixing all of his pitches in very nicely. And that emotion on the mound and in the dugout is something that was sorely missed by this Yankee team and this organization.
Montefiore Einstein scoreboard. It's 2-0 Yankees as we go to the 6th, and the Yankees go to Lucas Litke to relieve Luis Severino. And Gurriel fouls it away.
Connie, when you break down Sevy tonight, I mean, what, 80 pitches or so? I mean, can you remember any blatant mistakes? I mean, he was on the corner. He used all his pitches. He had great velocity. I mean, that's about as good as you get as a starting pitcher.
I agree. When you look under the hood, it kind of validates the numbers. 5 shutout innings. Top end velocity, almost threw the ball 100 miles an hour. 99.5. Was his top end velocity on his fastball. He averaged over 97. And then a good distribution of pitches. Cutters, sliders, and changeups.
One and two.
You know, you really got to give Meredith, our own Meredith Marakovich, some props. I mean, if you watch the pregame, she was at the chalkboard and she was showing the bottom of the lineup, saying we got to change things around here. So, got to give her the props. The 2 runs the Yankees have scored to this point, right?
Gurriel down on strikes. Meredith, do you believe you need credit on this, or you deserve credit?
I don't think I need credit. I'll always take credit. Do I deserve credit? Probably not, because I haven't stepped in the batter's box. But Paul, what do you want to have happen tomorrow? I'd gladly see what I can do.
All I know is when you take a left turn at that chalkboard, you're in the food line. That's why it looks so familiar to me. That's a great place to be, heading into the media lounge.
Paul, a lot of angry media members because we were set up there. That meant that they had to take a pause and not immediately go into the food line. Dinner delayed a little bit.
Well, I know what you do tomorrow, Meredith, in Baltimore. Do the open standing on the Paul O'Neill plaque on Utah Street.
Just tempting a Yankee
nice.
hitter to reach that, right?
Yep.
Very nice. You know, I saw a picture of it, but I've never seen it in person. So, Meredith, I would appreciate that. I'll watch the game. How's that?
Tomorrow's the day. I'll send you a selfie with the plaque in the background.
And the first plaque that they put down for you, Paul, they spelled it the way your name was spelled on the first day in the big leagues, with one L.
They spelled it wrong too.
But they've replaced it.
I might change my name. Good things happen when I got one L on my name. I get hits. I get home runs.
Tapia goes down on strikes. Speaking of tomorrow night on Yes, Yankees' first road trip of the season begins in Baltimore as the Bombers kick off a weekend series with the Orioles. Coverage starts at 6:30 with the pregame. Then Cameron Maben joins me for the call on Yes and streaming on the Yes app. Cameron's probably in Baltimore by now.
Well, they fly him ahead like a starting pitcher, huh?
Yes. Did you take advantage of that eye wash? Because that's what it seems like to me.
It was eye wash. And yes, I did take advantage of it.
Because I know if David's going to get into town a day early, he's going to have the milk and cookies, pajamas. He's going to be in bed at 8 a.m.
Yes, especially when you go to Chicago and you're next to Rush Street. I mean, why send a starting pitcher ahead to Chicago by Rush Street? It just doesn't work.
One and two.
Cody, you got to tell me this because it was always weird. You know, like even if you flew a day late or something, you didn't fly with the team. It felt awkward to be in a hotel without the whole team being there. It's got to be a little eerie, huh?
It was. That's why I didn't stay there at that hotel. I was out.
Good point.
He didn't want to be scared, Paul. That's why he left.
Right.
Still 1 and 2. Crowd of 37,255 announced here at the stadium on what's turned into a pretty nice Thursday night after an hour-and-a-half rain delay. Elston Howard bobblehead night. Kirk hanging in there. Thinking man's pose. Just missed 3-2. Just got the message from Cameron Maben. He is in Baltimore, and he said he feels like Coney. He's a little scared.
He obviously has the Yes app working. I mean, you don't pick up the Yankee game in the hotel in Baltimore, right?
That's right. That was a base hit to right field. That's a good at bat for Kirk. So he is 2 for 2 with a walk.
Was talking last night that I've seen Kirk a little bit. I mean, we've seen him hit some home runs against the Yankees, and he covers the high pitch very well. And again, Litke miss, got the ball up high. Accolades from Guerrero Jr. Very level swing on that ball up in the strike zone.
So here's Biggio. One and 0. Grounded foul.
We talk about Aaron Boone and Matt Blake and the sort of the lanes that they refer to, lining up their relievers. It's a big spot here. You know, the best laid plans, obviously, you know, you got your matchups that you're envisioning kind of work if Litke can get this lefty out in Biggio and set up possibly Castro for next, but then you're always worried about the turnover of the lineup with Springer, Bichette, and Guerrero Jr. at the top and who you're going to line up for them.
One and 2 on Biggio. Biggio has walked and struck out. Two and 2.
You got to believe if the game stays as it is, Coney, talking about the bullpen, and you believe in the 3-day rule that Aaron Boone uses, and Loizac has been used back-to-back days, so you would think that Holmes would take the 8th. You wonder who would go out there to take the 7th.
That's why this at bat here is so important for Litke to get out of this inning right now and get this left-handed hitter out.
Another tough at bat against Litke. It was an 8-pitch at bat by Kirk, and now he's going to be going 3-2 and 2 outs with Espinal on deck. Swing and a miss. 3 strikeouts for Litke as he pitches the scoreless 6th inning. No runs a hit. 1 man left on.
You're sitting to the side. I'm talking to Coney. I saw earlier in the game, he's got him sitting him right in front of him.
All right. And I think another one is a former teammate of both of you. Here's Aaron Judge. Start off the bottom of the 6th. And a strike. James Smythe, can you tell us when the Gold Glove started?
Some people think that Aaron Judge should have won the MVP in 2017.
1957. Swing and a miss. Hey, Gosman has been really nasty today.
The tantalizing splitter that he throws.
9 strikeouts and no walks.
You can see it just dangling there and diving late as Aaron Judge is over the top of it. Another look coming right at you. You can see how late that action is. Once you commit, the ball moves.
And a strike to Rizzo. Oh, 2.
Gosman's thrown that splitter 22 times tonight. The Yankees have swung and missed at it 13.
Rizzo is lined out to first and then tried to bunt with 2 strikes, so that was a strikeout. Once again, a 4 outfield alignment. And you've got a situation with 3 infielders on the right side, and the only guy whose feet are on the dirt is Vlad Guerrero. Because when the pitch is delivered, you'll see Bichette back up. He's already on the grass anyway, but that's the only guy whose feet on the dirt. And that's the talk that they'll change next year when they ban the shift. You'll have to have 2 infielders on each side. Both infielders, or all 4 infielders, would have to have their feet on the dirt. They could not be on the grass. Obviously, a 4th outfielder wouldn't be a consideration because you'd be on the grass. And the belief is that you'll see better defensive plays as well. The only thing that you will not be able to stop, you're still going to play somebody up the middle, even if it's a step to the side that you're supposed to be on. So that ground ball up the middle, that was always a base hit. It's not going to be a base hit even if they ban the shift.
You know, especially infielders that can see the signals or have pitch comm. They can anticipate the flow. Once a pitch is delivered, they can cheat that way.
Driven out to left field. That's right where the fielder is. So the shift, every time they've employed it, we've seen, even when the Yankees did it, we've seen that 4th outfielder take away a hit. Not to say that that would have been a hit, but it would have been a much more difficult play for Gurriel. So here's Stanton. He has struck out twice against Gausman. Ripped to left field. And it's over the head of Gurriel. Hit so hard, though, that Stanton just held to a single.
You know, you just don't see line drives beat left fielders to the wall. And you know, it's just because Stanton hits the ball so hard that as an outfielder, you don't have time to react. I mean, he got a good jump on the ball. It just carries. And it's all about the velocity, the exit velocity. It just beats players. I mean, you see him hit ground balls through the hole. This ball just gets over Gurriel's head because he hit it too hard.
Yeah, Gurriel was playing really deep too.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to do that, hit a line drive over your head when your back's against the warning track.
Here's DJ LeMahieu. Foul back.
116.6 miles an hour off of Stanton's bat, so add another one to the list. That's why if you hit the ball harder, it kind of matters. Harder you hit it, the higher your average goes, generally speaking.
There's a base hit to right field. Stanton stops at second. Tapia gets the ball in. Back-to-back 2-out singles.
A great adjustment by LeMahieu there, because Gausman actually kind of quick pitched him and slide step, and haven't seen it. And all of a sudden, I mean, he just made the adjustment and lined it to the right side. You see impact almost hit home plate, and that's just allowing the ball to get deep, not waving at it.
Well, okay.
Roger Maris, you're dead on.
Very nice.
So here's Tim Meza. He comes on with Joey Gallo due up. Yankees have runners on first and second. They can make it easier for their bullpen. It's just a 2-0 lead, and now Gausman, who pitched very well, is just a very interested observer. So Stanton's at second, and LeMahieu is over at first. Gallo was 0 for 2 against Gausman. Strikeout and a fly ball to center. There's the StatCast percentiles. So they think his expected average is higher than his actual average the way he's hit the ball this year. 0-1.
So, you know, it's based on the quality of the contact that he's made. You know, for years we used to sit on the bench and bench jockey, you know, about a hitter that's got a magic wand. You're living in a tree, you know, you're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Conversely, sometimes you're laying out line drives, as you know, Paul, and water coolers suffer.
Yeah, I was never good at that. It's never made sense to me.
Meza strikes out Gallo, and that'll do it. Yankees strand 2. We go to the 7th inning. And here's Miguel Castro after a really strong 6th inning by Lucas Litke.
This will be Castro's lane. He's going to face the bottom of the order. 8 and 9, and then Springer leading off.
Cadillac scoreboard 2-0 Yankees. Yankees trying for a split of the 4-game set and a 4-3 mark on the 7-game homestand. David, this came up. My job is to explain it. I have no idea what it means. Please tell me what that means.
Well, this is a reference to when he does put the ball into play. You know, on his contact, his hard hit rate is at the top shelf, top of the list. His quality of contact is the best in the league. That's why his expected batting average is much higher than it actually is.
Okay, but what's the 80?
80% of his contact is hard hit.
Okay.
Hard hit rate, 80%. 80% of the time he has hit the baseball, which is the key. You got to hit the baseball. It's 80% rate, a hard hit rate.
So the 100%, he's at the top of the list of all players in hard hit rate expected average.
Yeah, his 80% hard hit rate is top shelf, top of the list.
And 80% of the balls, I guess, are 95 miles an hour or more off the bat.
That's hard hit rate. 95 miles an hour and up is a considered hard hit. Not launch angle. Could be on the ground or anywhere. That's just hard hit rate.
I just felt we should revisit it because if I couldn't explain it, I'm sure the people at home really couldn't digest it. Now, what's the bottom one?
He's been unlucky is what it means. You know, when he does hit the ball, it's been unlucky. He's not getting, you know, what, based on the quality of contact, he could have a much higher batting average. Obviously, it doesn't factor in strikeouts and walks, but when he has made contact.
Paul, was I alone or are you feeling it?
You know what? I'm looking at you know what a whoop is, Michael?
Yeah. I think.
You wear it on your wrist. It's got your heart rate, your sleep, everything.
Yep.
If you get 100%, it looks just like it's green recovery. That means you had a great night's sleep. That's what those numbers meant to me. I'm looking at him like, wow, he slept well last night.
But you know what? That number shows he doesn't sleep well because he's not getting hits from those hard hit balls.
Somebody's snoring.
When you're getting red on whoop, you better just go back to bed. It's going to be a bad day.
Line drive. Oh, what a play by Donaldson. Robbing Espinal of a base hit.
You know, Coney, there's certain things on a baseball field to this day that still amazes me. And infielders and their reaction to the ball. It looks great on TV, on slow motion. You do not have any, it's just a reaction. And it's just a given talent. Great play by Donaldson.
A lot of that is the discipline and the kind of what you call the pre-shot routine almost, where you're ready every pitch for that line drive that may not come your way. So yes, you relax now, and then once you get ready for the pitch, you've got to get a little bounce in your step and get ready.
I would guess the expected average on that hit would be high.
Very high. Let me reload my Baseball Savant page here, and I'll give it to you in a minute. 690 expected batting average on 103.4 mile an hour line drive right at him.
Would you used to scream on the bench, Coney? Hang with him?
Yes, exactly. That's right. You got robbed. Can't catch a break. That's why we have T-shirts that say, you know, that's baseball, Susan. Can never figure this game out. We keep trying. We know a lot more than we used to. Still don't have it all figured out yet.
I was talking earlier in the game. If you look at Zimmer's barrel there, you see those are all foul balls. That's the ink off the baseball of the trademark. And that's not squaring it up. That's just missing them. And there's another one.
Now, you don't get the mark if you get a hit? It doesn't leave a
very
mark?
often. Those are Yeah, usually it's the glancing blow that takes the ink off the baseball, which is the MLB logo and the signature of the commissioner. And
a lot of foul balls on that bat.
Mm-hmm.
Tapped softly to Donaldson. And they just get the hustling Zimmer for the second out.
I guess a simple way to put it all, Michael, is that for a pitcher, you're trying to stay off the barrel of the bat and induce weak contact. And
right.
For a hitter, you're trying to hit the ball hard, hit it on the button. And generally speaking, that formula, it works, but not all the time. Sometimes you give up jam shots, they're hits. Sometimes you hit line drives at them. But over the long haul, with big sample sizes, take your chance hitting the ball hard. That's how the front offices are judging players now, these expected stats. Trying to read between the lines. That's how they're making trades, making moves, evaluating talent.
Oh, and 2 on Springer.
Here. In a 2-0 game, it shows you that Aaron Boone has got some confidence in Castro. This is a big opportunity for him.
Well, the bullpen has been unbelievable in the first 6 games. 1.47 ERA, just doing what they have to do. And because it's early and the starters are not stretched out, they've been working long innings, getting a lot of outs. And that one gets away. Springer gets plunked.
He's got a little anxious and tried to snap off a slider, and he Forrest Gumped him. If you're going to get hit, a slider in the buttock is not a bad way to get it done.
Well, that's going to do it as Bo Bichette's due up. And Aaron Boone's going to go to the bullpen. We're in the top of the 7th, 2-0 Yanks. Clay Holmes gets the call to face Bo Bichette.
Clay Holmes is usually a pretty good call in any situation, the way he's thrown the ball in the pinstripes. But in particular, this matchup with his sinker against Bichette in a 2-run game makes sense. At least that's the way the Yankees see it, and Aaron Boone likes this matchup much better. Especially when one swing of the bat can tie this game, either from Bichette or the guy on deck, Guerrero Jr.
Bichette 1 for 3 tonight. He doubled off the wall in right center in the first inning. He's not shy about jumping on that first pitch and fouls it back. And he doesn't get cheated.
Stays true to his approach. Very aggressive, looking to hit from the first pitch on.
There's a ground ball to Kiner-Falefa. He goes to second, and that'll do it. Holmes comes on and does the job. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees lead the Blue Jays 2-0, but we'll stay right here as they honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, you rise and remove your caps, and please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest. United States Army Master Sergeant Miriam Soto Quinones from Edison, New Jersey, who served in Operation Iraqi Freedom and has received the Bronze Star. The Yankees say thank you for your sacrifice and service to our nation. And now, Robert Merrill's rendition of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
It stays that they can still play through this. It looks like they're going to try. David Phelps comes in to pitch the bottom of the 7th. 2-0 to Torres. It'll be Torres, Canafalefa, and Trevino. Three and one. See-through umbrella, perfect.
Michael, I'm just looking at my trusty radar here, and it doesn't look like bad. I think we're going to be okay. A little minor pop-up here.
Thank you, Paul.
Just saying.
Text Hal. He's the one I trust.
Hal Steinbrenner is really good with weather. Yeah.
He's got it. He'll have the right report. I trust you too, Paulie, but how's
What I
he's a
didn't
pilot.
like is I saw Danny Cunningham running it around the field the inning before. That's usually not a good thing.
So here is Canafalefa. He's had himself a night, had one hit in the first 6 games. He has 2 in this one, and he scored both runs. Reached first, moved the second on a balk, scored on a Trevino single, then doubled and scored on a Trevino single. Runner goes, fouled away.
You know, we talk a lot about the numbers and breaking down the modern game, but there's still human beings play this game. And you know, Paul, you could speak to it better, but yeah, you get the monkey off of your back when you get a hit. You finally, you know, you're struggling. Same with the pitcher trying to get a strike or an out. Once that happens, you can just kind of turn it loose.
And a bunt, a push bunt. That's going to be a base hit. Beautifully placed. 3rd hit for Canafalefa.
Again, we were talking earlier about what you expected from Canafalefa when he got here, and these are the things. I mean, a surprise bunt, a push bunt, and a beautiful one. Use your speed a little bit, move guys over. You get different things going on in the lineup like this. You're always going to have Aaron Judge. You're always going to have Stanton, Gallo, guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. You know, other guys need to figure out a way to help this team score more runs.
And that's bunting for a hit. He wasn't sacrificing there. He saw a spot and pushed that bunt to a perfect location.
So here is Trevino. And he's going to bunt. Straight up in the air, but out of play. 2 hits tonight. We'll take a look at the exit velocity presented by Spectrum Mobile. Go to spectrummobile.com today. So certainly didn't scald either of them, but they count. Below the major league average of 94.3 miles per hour.
Difference between a ground ball and a blooper. Finding the outfield grass.
Luis Rojas, third base coach, going through the signs. Swinging away with Guerrero very close to home plate at first base. Now with 2 strikes, he'll back up. Two and two. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 on. Nobody out here. Bottom of the 7th. It's 2-0 Yanks. Three and 2. This should be 2. There's 1. On to first, it's a double play, and Kiner-Falefa really went in clean and hard there at second base, but they still turned the double play. 6-4-3. Moving to third is Torres. So here's Donaldson. He has struck out 3 times tonight. Runner at third now with 2 men out. That whispers across the outside corner. 0-1. And down on the count, 0-2.
So you change your approach here, Paul. You've struck out 3 times. You're down 0-2. Do you know it? Are you aware of it?
Absolutely. It's just like one of the nights where you just walk to the plate and you know you're 0-2. You almost call it a victory if you make contact. Last thing you want to do is go home with 4.
Lines went out to Tapia, and that will do it. No runs a hit there, Cameron. Good? Yes, you are. I see you. All right, back to the field.
I'll meet you at Billy's afterwards.
Hyundai scoreboard 2-0 Yankees lead as Holmes deals a strike to Guerrero. Three strikeouts against Severino. Oh, 0-2. You know, it was interesting what you said earlier, Paul, because I always assumed that if you had a big night the night before, that would carry over. But you think that it could actually set you back a little bit.
You know what? If you talk to like a sports psychologist, you want to play at a level at 7 or 8. And sometimes when you get to 10, you're a little too emotional and you can't adjust. And like I said, a great game, good. But I mean, a game that he had last night, it's just like you don't. Just too much going on, too much hype, and all of a sudden, how am I going to live up to it? This is not the same guy we saw last night.
Well, Paul, last night he was 4 for 4, 3 home runs and a double. And with this pitch, he strikes out for the 4th time. He has never struck out 4 times in a game in his short but brilliant major league career. Yep, 4 right there, 0 for 4. This is a cruel game. Here's Gurriel. What'd you do your start after the perfect game?
Not good. I should have quit. I should have retired right then. Walk the first guy.
Got it out of the way.
4 days to get over it.
Up the middle, off the bag, and into left center field. Gurriel picks up a single. Can't roll it any better. Somebody would have fielded that. Not sure if they would have gotten him at first, but once it hit the bag, all bets are off.
Well, you could see it happening. And Clay Holmes, I mean, as a pitcher, you always say reaction will let it go. And it looks like he almost did, just expecting it. And it's just a bad break for the Yankees off the second base out into left center. And you see the field wet. Carter Falefa slips out there in the outfield.
Well, that's going to do it for Holmes. With Tapia coming up, Boone's going back to the bullpen. Chad Green will come on to replace Holmes.
And once again, when you're looking at the numbers, this is really about a plain matchup. They like this matchup much better. Tapia with speed and a left-handed batter. Holmes with the sinker. They probably prefer Green with his four-seam action to try to get him in the air or a strikeout, as opposed to Holmes, who might produce a ground ball with Tapia's speed. So it's not about numbers. This is about plane matchup. They like Green's pitching plane matched up against Tapia's swing plane.
And what a difference a night makes. Yesterday he wore the crown. Now he wears the golden sombrero. Amazing. Here's Tapia against Green. There's a base hit to right field. Gurriel's going to stop at second. Throw comes into LeMahieu, so first and second, one out.
Well, you could tell Stanton there too, kind of tiptoeing around. I mean, that outfield's wet. There has been rain, and that recent little shower you saw kind of Falefa fall last play. And you see, as an outfielder, as you come in there, the last thing you want to do is, have a ball skip by you or pick up a wet ball and rush it, kind of airmail it.
So here's Alejandro Kirk. 0-1.
Kind of a dangerous pitch there, Coney. Starting him off with a slider, and it didn't have much break on it out over the plate. Aaron Boone's thinking possibly Chapman might have to get more than 3 tonight.
There's a strike. Gurriel at second. Tapia is at first. Yankees lead 2-0 in the 8th. This could be 2. There's 1. And there's 2. Green got what he needed. And that'll end the inning. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom and get the bat on the ball. Paul, what's happened with these 4 strikeouts?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The first couple, you're just going to tip your hat to Sevy. I mean, that is a nasty changeup. And then a good little cutter on the outside corner. And another one down out of the zone. And again, a good breaking ball away. So I think they pounded him so much inside. He adjusted last night. Now they're back away. Even the best have bad nights. Tonight, not Guerrero's night.
All right, Julian Merriweather will come on. Last year, an injury-plagued year, but when he's healthy, he has great stuff. He's going to face the heart of the order, Judge, Rizzo, and Stanton, 2, 3, and 4. And a strike, drops in a curveball. Blue Jays are going to see Aroldis Chapman in the 9th inning, as he'll try to get the final 3 outs.
So Aaron Boone brings in Chad Green, the fly ball pitcher, takes out the sinker baller, and he gets 2 ground balls and a ground ball double play, just like you drew it up.
Driven out into left center field. And that ball's going to be in between the outfielders and up against the wall as Judge gets himself a double.
Well, a good swing by Aaron Judge, and a lot like Stanton. I mean, you just expected this ball to be caught. But he hits the ball so hard that it beats the outfielders to the wall. Rack up a double for Aaron Judge.
That's his first hit of the night. Now 1 for 4. 2 fly balls to center and a strikeout before that double. And here's Rizzo. So by getting on base, Aaron Judge has assured Rizzo that there will not be a 4th outfielder. And with a runner on second, the third baseman Espinal has to be somewhat close to third. A little bit more of a fair defensive alignment for Rizzo. 1-0. Grounded, fair ball. Guerrero fields, he'll step on the bag. Moving to third is Judge, 1 away.
Rizzo does a good job to stay around the ball and pull it to get Aaron Judge to at least get him over to third. Now, when it comes down to adding runs this late in the game, these are huge runs. Aaron Judge standing at third base. Stanton with a big opportunity to put another run on the board.
Infield comes in for Stanton. Interesting note from our guy Quags back in the studio. So Vlad Guerrero Jr. strikes out 4 times. Only time he's ever done that. Vlad Sr. struck out 4 times in the game once. He did it in his 377th game in the big leagues. For Jr., he did it in his 351st. There's a strike. Boy, when an infielder comes in on Stanton, they have to make sure their insurance is paid up.
Well, these are at bats that, you know, a lot of times you would just assume that they would pitch around him, but I think that's a great spot for DJ LeMahieu, the type of hitter he is, to give Stanton an opportunity. And even making contact right there, you pick up that extra run. Like Aaron Judge going on contact, Yankees absolutely stole a run right there.
Yeah, good base running by Judge, because the ball was hit to Bichette, and he didn't even think about coming home because Judge was almost across the plate.
Yeah, immediately Aaron Judge breaks, so the play was on that you're going on contact, and you're just taking a chance that it's not right at somebody or they field it cleanly. Good decision for Aaron Boone to put that play on.
Here's DJ LeMahieu, who is 1 for 3. 3-0 Yanks. Grounded sharply to second. Biggio stabs and makes the play for the final out. So Judge with a leadoff double moves to third on a ground ball, scores on a ground ball. Aaron Hicks takes over in center field, and Judge moves over to right, replacing Stanton. And Stanton exits at that RBI ground out. That was a big run there, Paul.
No doubt about it. And as I go back, I look at it, you really have kind of 3 options, and you'll see Aaron Judge immediately. There's no read on this ball. And in the old days, it was Willie Randolph. If I was on third base, would come up and say, get a good lead, you're going on contact. Or you see it through the infield, or read the ball on your own, a high chopper, kind of see if you can steal a run. But that play right there was called before the pitch. You're going on contact, and we're going to take a chance that you can beat the throw. And it's much easier to do when you have a lead, and it ended up being a big run for the Yankees.
Chapman comes on, deals to Biggio low, 1-0. Yankees looking to nail this down, split the 4-game set, and get out of Dodge with a 4-3 record on their first homestand, taking 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox and splitting 4 with the Blue Jays, but still 3 outs to go. Two and 0. Just like that, 3-0. Strike one, 3-1.
Chapman's go-to pitch when he gets in trouble. Try to get a strike. He'll start spinning it. Try to spin that slider in there and get a strike. 3-0 slider.
Oh, personalized spikes. Nice. (3-1), and he walked him. So an inauspicious beginning to the 9th inning as he walks the number 7 hitter in the order, Cavan Biggio, Craig's son. So here's Espinal, 0 for 3. Robbed of a hit his last time up. Diving play to the glove side by Donaldson. Pitch is high. So it's going to be a Chapman matchup. As Chapman's going to pinch hit for Zimmer. been a good series, entertaining. All the games have been tight, all in doubt in the 9th inning. This one, no difference. After the game, Yankees will head to Baltimore, begin a 3-game set against the Orioles tomorrow, then a day off on Monday, their first day off of the year, and then 3 in Detroit against the Tigers. One, 2-1. Now Chapman has looked sharp in every outing we've seen so far. Today you can see he's struggling.
Yeah,
so
he's really
going to have to find it.
Shying away from his fastball right now.
Grounded foul.
Another slider there, Coney. I mean, he is wearing that slider out this inning so far.
Keep it right here on Yes after the final out, as our studio team will have highlights, analysis, and complete player reaction from tonight's game. Plus Aaron Boone on the manager's report. That's all coming up on the W.B. Mason Yankees postgame. So 3-2 on Espinal.
Would not be surprised to see Chapman opt to go back to that slider here on a 3-2 pitch.
So Biggio leads off first, held there by Rizzo. Yankee defense fairly straight away for Espinal.
You absolutely have to throw the pitch in the strike zone. Whatever you feel like you can get in the zone, you have to do it.
Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. That's ball 4. First and second and nobody out.
Boy, this looks close at a second look. Yeah, I got to ring him up, Coney. I'm a hitter, and that looked like that he went on that.
So Matt Blake wants to talk things over with Chapman.
It was right to the borderline. I think the disappointing part was not getting a pitch in the strike zone. And that's the worrying part here. If you're on the Yankee side, is Chapman needs to find it quickly. And the other Chapman in the batter's box, you got to figure maybe he's taking a strike here.
Chapman's pinch hitting for Zimmer. Chapman versus Chapman in 2018, a walk and a ground out. Last year, game-ending strikeout on a 103.4 mile-an-hour fastball. That's the fastest strikeout pitch that Araldis has had since the 2017 wild card game. That one gets past Trevino, and that'll erase any chance of the double play as the runners move up.
I think that's a real red flag if you're in the Yankee dugout right now, and you're going to get some action down in the bullpen. But his fastballs have either been way high or way low in the dirt. Here's another one launched straight down on top of home plate. See it skidding and hydroplating off of the rubber on top of home plate. Stays down.
Yep. Continuing to labor. And Michael King is heating up in a hurry. Chapman does have these games every now and then. Sometimes in the middle of this, he'll find it. Other times, he just can't find it. You know, used to him being dominant from the first pitch till the last out, but this is not one of those days. This is a day where he's going to labor.
Kind of reduced to just his slider, being able to get that's the one pitch he can get in the strike zone.
Yeah, Coney, I was just going to say, I mean, you're almost to the point as a hitter that you take away his fastball because he hasn't been able to throw it for a strike and look for something up as a slider in the strike zone.
Three and one. And then you've got the dangerous Springer on deck. Here we go. Bases loaded, nobody out. Chapman simply does not have it. 3 straight walks. And Boone thinking about going up those steps and taking his closer with him.
I'm not sure if Michael King is ready or not. As you see, he's going to try to buy some time. Tells Trevino to go talk to Chapman, and that is just to give King more time. And if I'm Aaron Boone, I'm making the move. If King is ready, I'm bringing him in now.
And that's exactly what Boone's going to do. I mean, you can see it from up here. He certainly sees it from down there. One of those nights for Chapman. He has nothing.
You got a 3-run lead. You got the powerful right-handed batting top of the Blue Jays lineup. It's the right move.
Fans boo as Chapman departs. And now Boone is going to call on this man, Michael King, to try to save the Yankees bacon. They played a good game. They're up 3-0. But now a very sweaty, nail-biting, inducing 9th inning. Bases loaded. Michael King, this is his first save opportunity. And Chapman was relieved as fast as Boone can. He has to face 3 batters, so he didn't want to risk it. Didn't want to see if Chapman could find it. Took him right out. And King is in to face Springer. Did he go? Yes, he did. Bases loaded, nobody out. 3-0 Yanks, top of the 9th. Top of the order for the Blue Jays. Springer fouls it off, 0-2. Bo Bichette on deck, Vlad Guerrero after him.
A couple of high-quality 2-seamers. Both of them tying up Springer. You can see Michael King shaking his head as he gets the electronic signals.
And the 0-2. Strike 3, got the outside corner. Big strikeout for King.
That's why they call him fireman. The bell went off. You got to get ready in a hurry. Here you go. Bases drunk. 2-seamer ties him up. Another one beats him on the inside corner. Oh, let's flip it over. Let's go 4-seamer. Freezer away. Doesn't get better than that.
Well, it doesn't get any easier. Here's Bo Bichette. Bases loaded, now 1 out. There's a strike. 4 pitches, 4 strikes for King. In stark contrast to what Chapman did tonight. And that one is looped right at LeMahieu. Can they double him up? Yes, they do. That's the ball game. Zimmer went off the bag. LeMahieu made the catch, fired to Rizzo, and King does a kingly job, and the Yankees win 3-0.
Full Houdini, Paulie. Great job by Michael King with not a lot of time to warm up. Comes in throwing bullets.
Well, he threw 5 pitches, and all of them were quality pitches. This ball off the end of the bat. And you said it, Michael, this is what you can't do as a runner. Great job. The Yankees stole this 9th inning. Played a good, solid game going back to the beginning. It was started by an unbelievable performance from Severino.
Chapman throws 16 pitches, 4 strikes. King, 5 pitches, 5 strikes, and it ended here. Yeah, everybody likes it. Kingly things indeed. Not much time to warm up, and he came in and did a yeoman job to help the Yankees split this 4-game set with the Blue Jays. A nail-biter right till the end, and a lot of celebration by the Yankees. Bottom of the order, great start by Severino, a great finish by King. And now we go